How's it going? Welcome. Welcome. This is the Conscious Chicano. I'm actually here on mobile again. So, I know you guys can't see me because it's kind of dark here. You could probably see me a little bit. Anyways, what's the topics? There's a lot of topics. I haven't been on here in a while. I'm usually on Instagram Live, but the topics I wrote here are the Olympics, Trump, Kamala, Israel. So, let's first start off with the Olympics, man. The Olympics is, man, they're pushing a lot of agendas there. You know, as you guys know, as a Christian, a follower of Christ, I don't believe in that LGBTQ agenda. So I see the Olympics is pushing that. They actually did a mockery of the Last Supper at the beginning of the Olympics. And so they had all these LGBTQ people, you know, kind of like positioned as the Last Supper. And as you guys know, I'm not a Trumper, and I'm not a Christian Zionist. I'm not a Christian liberal either. So I think actually both parties, liberals and Republicans, are not. They don't actually reflect the message of Christ and the gospel. So I'm critical of both parties. But let me tell you this: there is a LGBTQ worldly liberal agenda being pushed, especially through the Olympics. So the Olympics is, I heard some liberals try rebuttaling and saying, oh, you Christians are just paranoid and this and that, but they try to say, oh, that's not the Last Supper, that's art, or it's just something. It's like a something similar to the early, I guess, Greek and Roman, you know, kind of like festivities and stuff like that, and celebrations, and that actually has been debunked. And actually, the director said that he was actually they were inspired to do that based on the Last Supper. So you can't explain that away and excuse it. You know, it's in their own words that they're using the Last Supper as a mockery. Now, whether the Last Supper is actually the picture that the painting was based on is, you know, it's not an actual depiction, the real depiction of the disciples in Christ. If you actually look at the pictures, it's more, they look like Europeans. So in the Middle East, they didn't look like Europeans. So, but despite that, the LGBTQ is just mocking Christ. They put an overweight black woman there with her head has kind of like a sunshine type ornament, and she's lesbian as well, and they're pretty much mocking Christ right there. And the Bible says that, you know, such, you know, if you're basically coming with the antichrist spirit, you know. And but what's kind of weird, kind of odd too, is that there was even Muslims agreeing with Christians and saying that, yeah, they are mocking Christ. This is, you know, they weren't happy about that either. And then there was even some Chinese who were saying, yeah, they're even mocking Buddhism with the blue guy and everything. So yeah, it's just this LGBTQ people, like, they have no respect, and they really hate Christ and Christianity because they know that their lifestyle is antagonist towards the gospel, you know, and antagonistic towards, you know, godliness and Christ-like, you know, centeredness. And but yeah, they're just mocking. And there was actually, I heard Christians that protested, you know, that mockery, which is good, which is, you know, I'm glad Christians have spoke out against that, and you know, and you know, they continue to speak out against that in social media and everything. But besides that, there's a big controversy happening, especially in boxing. So they're trying to pair biological males against females, and one lady actually got, you know, pulverized, and she couldn't handle it. And, you know, a couple of seconds, she just, like, she gave up, and she said this is unjust, and she was getting hit hard. So let me just pull up this window because too much noise here. So yeah, so that's the big controversy right there. That you know, now women who train so hard to get to the Olympics, their dreams are smashed, and you know, and it's like now they have to fight against biological men who want to identify as women and stuff like that. So and now this is backfiring on women, especially the feminists who are pushing a lot of this LGBTQ stuff. So it's backfiring on them. So, and everybody's seeing, you know, the hypocrisy and all that of these agendas being pushed. And yeah, we're seeing it, and and everyone's talking about it now. So but yeah, it's unfair. You know, they actually, they should prevent that. They should ban that from even happening. But the director of the Olympics is a gay Jewish man. He's obviously a Zionist too, because matter of fact, they allowed Israel to participate in the Olympics after all their genocide, but yet they banned Russia because of what's going on in the Ukraine-Russia war and stuff like that. So we got a Zionist agenda, a LGBTQ agenda, anti-Christian agenda being pushed in the Olympics. So that's what's happening right there, and it's corrupt. If you actually look at the Olympics, there's a lot of Illuminati type symbolism and everything. It's been happening for many years, though. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Olympics right there. We see those agendas there. Let me see if I can get through here. Also, the whole Trump and Kamala stuff. So, Kamala is corrupt. They actually say that she's Biden on steroids. You guys know, they say she made a career out of herself as, you know, especially with this guy named Mayor Willie Brown. And he she actually climbed up the ranks because of him, and 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 he was technically still married, even though fact checkers are trying to say that oh well, he was married technically, but he was separated. But what's strange is that this guy was 60 years old, and Kamala Harris was 29. That's a big old age gap right there. But they say Kamala Harris has a reputation in San Francisco, basically you know, kind of like sleeping around to get to the top and everything. That's what they say, in San Francisco, that she has. I think they even say uh, something about her. They make a joke or something about metal shoulders or something like that. If you guys know what I mean, but anyways, but Kamala Harris is corrupt, man. She's a Zionist, obviously. She came out and trying to cover her ass because everyone knows that people are against Zionism, but she claims, oh, I want a two-state solution, and and we do support Israel, but we're also concerned about what's happening to the Palestinians. It's all rhetoric, though. Her and Biden supported military, you know they gave weapons to Israel and all this money to Israel, and it's just all talk, but their actions are still supporting Israel and giving them everything that they need to still continue their genocide of the Palestinians. And she met with Netanyahu, and she's bought out like the rest of the politicians. Trump and Kamala are Zionists. They're APOC run. Congress is run by APOC. Netanyahu did his speech in Congress recently, and all the Zionists are all clapping to him, and all bowing down to him and kissing his ass. And these people are all genocidal maniacs, So, and Kamala herself, she actually imprisoned a lot of people of color out here in California, and when there was evidence to release, certain people, and she still convicted them. And there was a person where they had DNA evidence to release this person, but no, she went ahead and with the I guess with the death penalty, and he was, I think, yeah, he was pretty much executed, even though they had DNA evidence that somebody else did the crime. So, and she was actually locking up a lot of people who, on little, based on marijuana and stuff like that. I'm not pro marijuana, like, but I'm not as a harsh on it, where, you do have, you know, um, it can be used for medicinal purposes and stuff like that. Although marijuana, if abused just like anything else, can damage your health and everything, such as your lungs and your cognition and stuff. But there's studies though that show that the ingredients, was it in the CBD, and like it's actually good for your health in some sense. So I'm not like a conservative who's gonna bash marijuana use and everything, but I think imprisoning people based on that is ridiculous. Um, but yeah, a lot of people of color, were put in jail for that, and so she has a reputation that she's a cop, right, and everything. And if you're a person of color and everything, a lot of times, I'm not. It's like I know there's Mexican cops here, out here, that they do, you know some of them, they're in a sense like, um, it's kind of hard to say on this whole topic. I am a Chicano anarchist. I do believe that there, even anarchists do believe that there are, like, we should have some kind of, like, law, or rules where you have enforcers, but they, anarchists do believe that law enforcement is corrupt and they're pretty much order followers and statists and all that. But we have to still deal with it. So I do believe that you know law enforcement when they're we do have we need in a sense kind of like what is it called community law enforcement in some sense, but the institution of law enforcement is corrupt at many times. A lot of them are, white supremacists in their thinking and all that. But there are some Mexican cops and some black cops. Some of them are they think just like white supremacists, but some of them don't though. Some of them are about the community and some of them are, they're not into, police brutality and all that. So I kind of say that there are some good cops and there's some bad ones, So I'm not so harsh on, well, I think we should that's a whole subject in itself. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, it's just I studied was it law enforcement and administration of justice. A lot of it has its roots in slavery. We had patrol officers, um, patrolling the slaves and all that. Um, but I do think that somehow there could be improvements, and so say that there are like criminals out there doing bad stuff to civilians out here. I do believe that there needs to be enforcers that need to put a stop to certain individuals that are out there murdering or committing crimes against other people and everything. So but besides that, I do think that Kamala Harris was she's she's one of those that are that's in a sense kind of like harsh in some sense where criminalizing people, putting a lot of our people of color in jail that's unnecessary. So I'm critical of that. So she's a Zionist. She has a bad cop reputation. She pushes the whole LGBTQ agenda. I heard that she was involved in this, unisex type restrooms, and but she's into the whole transgender stuff where she wants to push puberty blockers on teenagers and all that stuff. So she's all into that LGBTQ agenda, and she's actually anti-Christian in a lot of her actions. Like she's had opportunities where actually if she finds out that you're a Christian and she has the power to remove you from that position or silence you, she's something like that. She censors you. So she's like that. And she's a warmonger too as well. She's a warmonger, a Zionist. And she don't have much intelligence when you actually hear her talk, um, and it's just a lot of issues where she's just terrible. Oh, and she brags about being harder on immigration than Trump. So for you liberals out there, you Mexicans supporting the Democrats and liberals, you guys just think about who you're voting for because Kamala brags about being harsher on the border, harsh. She even blames Trump for tanking the militarization of the border. So she wants to militarize the border, and she wants to be even harsher on immigrants. So just to let you know, you Mexicans who are brainwashed by the Democrats, and you think the Democrats are going to save you, and you think Trump is the most evilest, villain out there, so you'll vote for anything but Trump. And I'm not telling you to vote for Trump because I'm not gonna vote for Trump or Kamala. They're all a bunch of corrupt people. But if you compare Trump to Kamala, I would say Trump is better on many policies, and he's not as much as a warmonger as Biden and Kamala. He'll rather do business with you. So that's the thing. But he might change his actions if he gets in office. He might go to war with Iran because he's after Iran, just like Israel is right now. So, but let me finish with Kamala. So Kamala is a Zionist, a warmonger. She's she's imprisoned a lot of people of color. She's she's really harsh on immigrants. She's a feminist, LGBTQ type. Um, and so there's a lot of issues with this lady, and not only that, she didn't even get the votes in. She was handed over, um, you know, this position of running, as the Democrat elect, as for the whole presidential candidacy. So she didn't actually win in terms of votes. She was handed that position. So that's just corrupt right there as well. Um, anyways, 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 I thought it was somebody else, but um, anyways, Trump, you got Biden and Trump. Um, I'm just in here, and I just see, you know, and there's like a trying to get into my conversation. Anyways, you live out here in Los Angeles, out here, and you experience this. And anyways, had to roll up my window. But back to this. Kamala is definitely a Zionist warmonger, pro LGBTQ. Um, she's she's anti-immigrant, and she's really harsh on people of color. So this is your typical liberal, right? It don't matter if it's white, black, or Indian from India, Mexican. If they're Democrats, they're gonna be corrupt. Let me tell you, the Democratic Party is corrupt. Now people are even questioning if Kamala is even actually black. I know there's a guy named Judge Joe Brown came out and said that he knew her father, and the father identified as Irish and Indian, and obviously the mother's Indian. So they're questioning her blackness. So um, I don't know what the truth is there about her, but I can see how she wants to appeal to. They're using the whole woman, the first woman, and the first black woman as the agenda, and just to get black people to vote for her, just to get women to vote for her, and the whole LGBTQ stuff and everything. So they and so there's some actually black people who are not going to vote for Kamala, and based on what I just said, those policies and everything, locking up a lot of black males and black black men and putting them in jails and everything. And they're gonna push this genderism as they always do. Oh, we're gonna have the first woman president. This is the first black woman. As though women are gonna solve everything, right? We had some really corrupt women who've been politicians. Hillary Clinton has been a major warmonger, and she's influenced a lot of wars in the Middle East, and all the Clintons and they're all corrupt, right? Hillary Clinton was exposed even when she was running against Bernie Sanders. She's a corporatist. She's a warmonger, and the Clintons are very corrupt. And actually, Kamala is definitely connected to Hillary Clinton big time. Um, and then you got women who are like Margaret Thatcher, who was in favor of South African apartheid. So just because a woman's in office doesn't mean she's gonna be a good woman. She's gonna be a typical politician, just like the males. The males are corrupt as well, and so are women. So the fact that we're going to have the first woman president doesn't, they're not going to eliminate white supremacy. They're not going to eliminate Zionism. They're going to push the agendas and this whole new world order type agenda. So Kamala is going to be Biden on steroids. So the same stuff, actually even worse. There'll probably be even more wars going on if she becomes president and everything. So the military-industrial complex will continue. APOC will continue to run Congress and everything. But let me get on Trump now. So Trump, so supposedly Trump is the alternative to Kamala, but I'm not voting for any of these people. Trump is a Zionist, right? And they're using Christian nationalism, which I say is a false form of Christianity because it's just Christian Zionism mixed with white supremacy and all that. And I myself am a Christian, but I don't say that's true Christianity. But they're using Christians to vote for Trump, and Trump. He basically he wants war with Iran. If there's war with Iran, it's gonna be World War III. And basically, Israel wants war with Iran. They just assassinated the one of the Hamas leaders, and so Iran says they're gonna strike back. So who knows what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen? But if there's a war between Israel and Iran, and then now the United States sends all kinds of warships to the Middle East in case this escalates. And so, guess who backs up Iran? Russia, and Russia is backed by China and all that. This could lead to World War III right here. And this was what Israel wants. They want a world war so they can usher their Antichrist Moshiach. That's what they want, their false Messiah. And they want world war. They want to get the United States involved and fight their wars. This is what Netanyahu talked about when he came to Congress and everything. He says you basically United States, you need to fight our wars, right? And this was Netanyahu was all about right there. So we have this Trumpers out here who want war, but then some say that Trump is not a warmonger. He's about business and he wants to stop the Ukrainian Russia war and gets them to talk and negotiate. That might happen. Trump is a businessman, and maybe Trump is he's. I heard a friend of mine who was a Trumper. He says Trump doesn't really want any wars, that he wants to put a stop to what's going on, with, Israel, in their wars. I don't know how true that is. We'll see if Trump wins, we'll see what happens, all I say. But Trump does have a record of, not really causing any major wars. The only thing he did was escalate some of the drone attacks um, in Iran. You know, and got that one Iranian general assassinated, but he didn't lead any major wars. He's about the economy and stuff like that. Um, so we'll just wait and see, man. And like I said, I'm not really into voting for anybody because the two party system's corrupt. They're all Zionists. They're warmongers. Um, but I will say the Democratic Party seems more corrupt than say Trump and stuff like that. Um, Now there's a whole thing where they're trying to overthrow, was it Venezuela and stuff like that, and there's drama going on there. um it just seems like the United States has their hands all over the place. They're always messing with other nations. Israel wants to take over the whole Middle East. They actually found some soldiers wearing the Greater Israel on their patch. So they want to have parts of Egypt and Syria, Iraq, and just pretty much the whole Middle East. That's their whole agenda. And their whole agenda is to take over the world. They want this so called Moshiach to rule and have all their Gentiles subservient to them, where they set up their third temple and they want this animal sacrifice instituted, and they want everyone to bow down to their Noahide laws. This is their agenda. And then their rabbis talk about it, and they teach this. They've been caught on recordings. Their articles from Israel, pushing this agenda. So they want a Zionist world order. That's what it is. And um, so yeah, there is an agenda there. So definitely. But like I said, you know, um, all you gotta do is stick to the truth, the wisdom of God, have discernment. Don't fall for this two-party deceptive system, or even this false Christian Zionism. Be a true follower of Christ and lover of God and His wisdom, and don't fall into all this corruption out here, man. The establishment out here is very run by, Satan himself, the synagogue of Satan, all that stuff. So, definitely be conscious, seek God's wisdom, follow Christ, and expose. Be the light in the darkness out here, the salt of the earth, right? And expose the darkness, man, and definitely don't fall for the deception, man. Anyways, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. This is the Conscious Chicano, and I'll see you next time.